Hey, happy Sunday. Happy
Thank you,
Sunday.
Katie.
Happy Sunday. So far, so good. Yes, better.
No glitch.
Okay, so far, so good.
Okay. Yeah, we lost all those likes. Damn
Lost
it.
all those likes, everyone.
Well,
Oh well, it's fine. We can get them back. No problem.
big night ahead. We'll get them back. We'll get them back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So where did we leave off? I believe Katie was about to talk about holiday merch.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna preview. So guys, there's gosh, I lost count. There are a lot of new designs in here. And most of the designs are on multiple products. So what I'm showing you today, I'll explain as I go along. I have not counted, but it would not surprise me if there's nearing 100 products in the shop.
Crazy.
Wow.
So let's see. How do I flip my camera around? There we go.
Flipping.
So this
Oh my
is
gosh. I'm so happy.
it says warmest fishes, but it was wishes, but the W's
I
wrong.
love it.
That may have been my idea.
I love it. I'm
That's
obsessed
a
with
very
that.
good one.
That's what everybody is getting.
The warmest fishes might have been my idea.
It was her. So
I was
love
wondering
it.
where that came from. I should have freaking known.
yeah,
I should have known. God damn.
So
I was just like,
I'm
hear
gonna
me
sell
out.
5 for this price. And reminder that everything in our holiday shop, and this is written in the description of every product, everything in our holiday shop sold now through December 31st. Every product will donate $1 to UNICEF. So if you buy 5 products, we'll donate $5 to UNICEF.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see.
And then this
This
one too.
This one made me such joy. Like,
So cute.
very
You've
inspired. by
also
it.
been responsible for wording as well.
I
You
may
love
as
a play
well
on
say
words.
in
You
a
love a
tweet.
play on words.
Well, like Wednesday, I was in a bad place, and then the announcement about White Christmas came out, and I just went on a design roar. So I was like, I need to just listen to Bing Crosby and pretend the world isn't real today.
Yeah. Yun 10 basically is Christmas now, so that's where we were going.
There we go.
Let's see. This picture was Christina. I don't know if you can see, but it's a chick and a polar bear, and they're comparing pinky sizes.
So cute.
And it says there's nobody.
I didn't do this one. There's nobody like you. This was not me. This was all Christina.
Yes. Let's see.
I got nothing.
This was full White Christmas inspiration. I just went on a 1950s retro.
Yes.
Ornament.
Very, very mid-century modern wonderfulness.
Yep. Okay. And the last two, these are on multiple products, but the ones I chose to see you. So it's kind of like a little Christmas ornament, but we were inspired by Happy.
Not to June. It's so perfectly timed.
Yep.
Yes. Perfect timing.
Yes, yeah.
It works so well for holiday merch. Isn't that amazing? I live.
When a plan happens.
It's all coming together.
And let's see. This one, I wish I had the color right, but yeah, we have this on a few products and colors as well. So it's like a little Fair Isle design.
Nice.
So that's the kind of stuff we have. We also have like a logo series. We made a logo for a different like business or organization for each of the members. We did kind of an inside joke series. So each one of them has like their own little medallion with jokes on it.
Ornaments.
Ornaments. Yeah, I don't have any ornaments showing right now, but yeah, everything that's just an ornament.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple of blankets and pillows. Yeah, the link will be live tonight. And it's going out in the newsletter, so look for that. We'll post it in the Discord. Let me turn back to myself. Let's see.
Nice.
The link will be live tonight. There's a few things we will be adding over the coming days. One of which is a product we don't have the sample for yet, and it's new, so we want to make sure it's cool before we sell it to you guys. So keep going, keep an eye out, and we'll post as new stuff goes up. But there is no point in waiting. Basically, every product you buy ships from a different printer. So you don't save on shipping by waiting, if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is some information in each description for holiday shipping timelines. If you are outside the US, you have about 2 weeks to order if you want it to be there by Christmas, if that's important to you. It may not be important to you. But yeah, I would urge, especially people outside the US, because the time frame quoted for shipping there is like 10 to 30 days. And we all know shipping is crazy. So if you're outside the US, urge you to purchase quickly. Yep.
Get something.
There's
Yeah,
tons
early.
And for in the US, and again, this is linked in the description. In the US, double check. I think you have until like a week or so into December.
Yeah, it's usually like sometimes even like 2.5 weeks, depending on what it is.
Because they print these on demand, it's a little earlier. I think it's like December 9th or something. But hold on, let me click before I give the wrong information.
Yeah. But yeah, tons of stuff. And like Katie said, everything in our holiday shop is going to have $1 of its proceeds donated to UNICEF, which we're going to do in January.
Yes.
We're going to make one big lump sum donation in January when we tally what the whole, the total is. And if you follow us on socials, you show up to our lives, you'll definitely be updated as to what that amount is going to be and when it's going to be donated.
Yep.
So.
And this is all in the description as well. There's a little link to why we're doing this. And yeah, the fact that we will be doing one lump sum donation in January, and we will provide proof of that on social media.
Mm-hmm. So yes,
Yay.
Do some holiday shopping with us, get some amazing merch designed by our team, and do a little good for around the world at the same time.
And yeah, we tried to get a good range of prices. So there's a lot of like stickers, magnets, ornaments. So if you need like stocking stuffer type stuff,
Yep, more stuff every day. Good job.
Okay. Let's do the quick rundown. It's November. We started with RM. We're doing fan chant order.
Yes.
So have you gotten the tickets for the documentary? Have you? Right,
Yes.
please. Wrong. Yes, yes. Who's going to see it? Who's going to see it? Well, if you haven't, you can get the movie times and the days available now on the website www.rpwp.com. And if you don't have anybody to go with, go to our Discord. We have the threads, local threads where you can find friends that can go with you to see the movie. So go.
Mm-hmm.
And RM made a story in Instagram, another of his song recommendations. This one is a song by Mokyo, I'm an Independent Man. Might be a declaration of principles.
Yes,
RM
sir.
might be declaring himself an independent man.
Just saying.
So,
He's a strong
There you go.
independent man. He doesn't need nobody.
exactly. Yeah, and that's for our leader.
Mm-hmm.
What we have for this quick rundown. And now, Seth.
Yep. Look at me. Sorry.
Your turn.
Oh, Jen. Jen. Okay, first of all, I was watching stuff of him today. How adorable is he when his ears get red and he gets embarrassed anyway in his throat? Anyway, okay. So,
Kim Sung-jin. Kim Sung-jin. Kim Sung-jin.
okay, I'll be there. Has hit over 17 million plays now. And that's like the official music video. The live music video is now over, 4 million. So almost 4 million. So that's a lot of views. So that's amazing. It's fantastic. I'm sorry, having to like read with my glasses and then not my glasses. We got the happy highlight video.
Oh my gosh. It sounds
Wait,
like
yes, I have
it's
seen
going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the thing that we put on anytime we just want to be happy. Well, thusly named happy or just feel loved. Like when I saw that picture of him running so free and then it says you are loved on it, like I literally wanted to cry. It's like
that and him with the dog in the car. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
yes.
It sounds so good. Like exactly the sound. I keep saying this, but it sounds exactly like the sound that I wanted to hear from him. Like that,
Well, I think it's
pop
music
rock.
he enjoys listening
Yes.
to. Enjoys listening to
It
it.
sounds like him. It sounds like his personality.
Yep.
It sounds like it's going to be so much fun. And that last song sounds like it's going to be beautiful.
Yep.
It's very convenient when it happens that way because sometimes people's voices are suited for music that isn't their like personal favorite to listen to. You know what I mean? But it's convenient that at least I think they've all found a way to do music that they enjoy listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so right. Like I never really thought about that. How their voices fit their genres like perfectly.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, like it'd be really shitty if Tay didn't like jazz.
Right. I was gonna say, like, and he didn't even like it until he started playing the saxophone. So, like, you know,
I know. It's so weird.
I remember, like, I did choir in high school, and I remember at some point, like, we all had to do solos, and my choir teacher was like, "You have to do a song from a German opera. Like, your voice is for German." And I was like, "I don't know why you think that. Like, apparently, there's qualities of voices that go well with certain."
because they're able to do that, like, guttural
true.
thing, which I can't do. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. I can't roll my R's. Like, I wouldn't be able to do like Latin music.
Some people are more suited to linguistics than other people.
Yes.
In speaking and in singing. Because sometimes the rules of linguistics don't necessarily apply when you're singing, because a lot of times when you sing, you end up losing an accent.
Yeah, like
People
like intentionally sing syllables not the way they're written to make it sound right in the singing, which I listen to really hard, especially when they.
Yeah, which is why opera is so freaking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Anyways,
Magic
side note.
Anyway,
Okay. Let's continue.
Is there anybody on the planet that does not know the album's coming out November 15th? Because if you don't know, then I don't know where you've been if you are Army. But
we're almost there.
we're almost there.
Friday.
And then we get the concert. Okay, so the concert is next Saturday morning our time, way early,
Real
and
early.
way earlier on Sunday morning our time. So free on Weverse. Get your coffee ready. Let's do this thing.
All the concerts / feet for free.
And then-
I think we're gonna try. I think we're gonna try to maybe watch it together if possible. We're gonna be awake anyway.
Be awake.
Yeah, we might as well.
We might as well.
I would assume that those of us on the East Coast are shooting for Saturday.
Yes. I'll be
Saturday.
Saturday.
It becomes a question of like, do you sleep and then get up, or do you just stay up?
Well, Tess and Keelan are spending the night at my house on Friday night. So we're going to sleep a little bit. We're going to watch concerts and then get up and watch the concert. That's the plan.
Sounds like a plan. All right, so Saturday.
Saturday.
TBD for information on that, everyone.
Yeah. And then, okay, of course, they're having the official album release in New York and LA. And then our New Yorker won't be in New Yorking. She will be in Dallas or Texas.
Texas. Conveniently enough.
What good are you?
I'll be in Texas with Lana.
Would have been at the album release party for us, Patricia. But I
thought she was going to be our reporter on the scene. She's like, nope, I'll be in Texas.
Well, because you did go
I'll
to
be
the Hope on the
Texas.
Street one, didn't you?
You did go to Hope on the Street, right?
Or some, I don't know if it was a release party. It was some kind of a nightclub event.
And my knees hurt. My knees hurt so much after that because I was dancing nonstop.
Perils of age.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot that I'm the age that I am.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
You're having fun, man.
yeah.
Okay.
Knees don't
Next.
hurt. They hurt.
Moving on to Yoongi.
Let's talk about my boyfriend. Hi, Yoongi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the note says it's the anniversary of the date that Suga moved to Seoul. Okay, and his parents basically said that he looked like he was being kidnapped by P-Dog.
Yeah. It was the other day, I think the 7th was the anniversary. Yes.
Back in 2010. So
Why did they say it looked like he was being kidnapped by P-Dog?
Because P-Dog came to, like, they left him in like this like restaurant that was under, like, that was on top of like the places where they went to do practice.
Okay, they've talked about that
P-Dog
restaurant.
came to pick him up, and his parents like basically said that he looked like he was being kidnapped by P-Dog.
I mean, if I was gonna get kidnapped,
I mean,
yeah.
but it's like probably he was like really lost, and he didn't know this guy that was like taking him away.
It's
So,
like so
anyway.
frustrating. You're like, here, take my child, go make them a gazillionaire doing music and not dancing.
I don't think it looked like that at the time, but yeah. Probably.
They're like, oh,
Anyway.
he'll be back in a week.
Yeah. I mean, they were probably not very happy because they didn't want him to be a musician to start with. So,
No.
anyway.
Okay. Okay, who's next?
Okay. J-Hope. J-Hope is still in LA following his super secret plan, post-military, the 6-month plan that he had in place. He did a photo dump the other day when we were on our live, in our middle of our Wednesday live, and one of the pictures actually found out that was one of his favorite stores in LA, and he has at least 4 pictures in the same spot.
So we've been
from
there
different years. Yeah. The store, for anybody that is in LA, the name of the store is Maxfield, is like super like sophisticated brands, the kinds of the brands that he likes.
brands he
And yeah, and he's taking a lot of pics of food because he's like such an Instagrammer. He loves to take pictures of whatever
little
he's eating.
Instagrammer. Yep.
I don't know how he can be so skinny eating that kind of food.
Because he
I mean,
dances and moves all the time.
well, yeah. Well, maybe I should dance. My niece.
My knees. Just immediately thinking about it. My knees.
My knees. Aw. Anyway, my knees. And we don't know what he's doing. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully he'll post another update soon.
Yeah.
Still hoping for Hope on the Street Volume 2.
He's hanging out with P-Dog, so he might be recording.
Yeah, P-Dog is with him.
Yeah.
He might be filming something. We don't know.
Perhaps
we don't know.
both.
Everything is incognita, is an enigma. So anyway, Katie, you're next.
Schrodinger's Hobi.
I'm being asked where are the cookies, and I'm like, they're in here with me. Where do you think they are?
Well, the cookie. It's not time to talk about the cookie yet.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, so Jimin's and I lost track of how many they've had, but several of the members have had pop-up exhibits of like art and clothing and stuff related to their albums. So Jimin's pop-up exhibit called The Truth Untold. So he had one in Asia, and then there was one in Seoul. I thought he did one in like Indonesia or something too.
I can't remember. Maybe.
I don't like they'll announce one and then they keep like drip feeding more. So anyway, they recently drip fed that there's going to be one in LA. So it's coming up. It's from November 29th to December 15th. And go to Weverse if you want information on how to get the tickets. There's like a special website you have to go to. And they're going on sale in 2 days. Perfect time. That's important because sometimes tickets go on sale in Korean time. So yeah, go check out Weverse, the Weverse announcement. But the tickets are just under $30. So that's pretty reasonable. And if you're in the LA area or can get there easily, yep, he gave me stealing cookies. Yep, it would be awesome to go to that. Just watch your mouth. Jimin won the Best MTV EMA European Music Awards. He won Best K-pop over there for, was it for a specific song? I don't actually know.
Nope, just Best K-pop.
Just Best K-pop. I know who's been doing really well. That's why I asked if it was that one in particular.
Good job, Jimin. Oh, well done, Jimin.
And don't feel bad, Lunar Vixen. There is nobody's coming to my part of the like. If they come to my side of the country, it's New York. So
Yeah.
don't feel bad.
Yeah. You can always come visit
Moving
me.
on down the Machne line, as we do every week.
Move on down the mountain line.
Taehyung. Of course, we are still flying high on the announcement of his upcoming collab with Bing Crosby on a remix of White Christmas. We have no idea what it's going to sound like yet. All we know is that there's merch. Yantan is all over it. It's adorable. They keep selling out and they keep restocking.
I mean, he loves the classics, so I'm going to guess it sounds a lot like the original.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to guess that it is probably fairly similar to the original.
I'm guessing we're not going for like a trap remix of White Christmas. Like,
it could be fun. Who knows? Could be fun.
You might want to rap.
I would hazard a guess. I would hazard a guess that it's fairly similar to the original, but we will see. We will see. But there is merch. You can buy the single, you can buy a CD or vinyl. Well, the last time I checked, the vinyl was sold out, but they may have restocked it by now because, like I said, they keep restocking. So keep checking. You go and things are sold out, check back another time because even the other merch, like the sweatshirt and stuff, they've been restocking that as well.
Be a Good Human just asked an important question.
Yes.
Merch. So the single CD and the merch associated with the White Christmas collab is not on the Weverse shop. It's on the I think it's
Interscope.
Yeah, Interscope Records is doing the promo for this.
Yeah.
So it's on an Interscope website. If you type in like the Bing Crosby White Christmas, I'm sure.
Not now, Alexa.
Yes, so not through. It's not on Weverse. You have to go buy it somewhere, which is typical. Usually, when they have a single CD associated with an album, it's through the record
American distributor or whatever country you're in. That's usually what it is. They're a distributor there. So yeah.
If you wait for Weverse, you'll be waiting a long time.
Yes, and so those. So it's. I think I actually have the website pulled up right here.
It's so stinking cute.
It's interscope.com. So if you just go there and you search Bing Crosby NV, you should be able to pull it up. Really super cute. And then that single will be releasing December 6th. So yes. So we've got 3 days in a row, you guys. I'm about to get to what's happening first right now with Jungkook. So we just found out that an extended version of his documentary, I Am Still the Original, will be released on Disney Plus in 3 episodes. So they're doing it episodically because they're adding more concert footage back in. So they're doing it in 3 parts, and that's happening on December 4th. So that means we have Jungkook coming on Disney Plus on December 4th, which is also Jin's birthday. FYI. And then,
love that.
And then we have Namjoon. We have the documentary for Right Place, Wrong Person releasing the next day on December 5th. And then the day after that, we have Taehyung and Bing Crosby with White Christmas. Those are some busy days, y'all. We gonna be booked. We booked.
Yep. We are in Santa's. We're in Santa's nice list because we're getting all these gifts from BTS.
I was thinking about it today, and I was like,
we're nice.
Like, remember before in the soup when they gathered them all in a room and they were like, if you could have anything you wanted in the house, and they were like, I want to paint, I want to go fishing, I want to do this, I want to do that. I was like, I bet they sat them down for this, and they were like, if you could do anything you want for Army while you're enlisted. And Tay's like, I want to do White Christmas with Yeonchan.
Yeah. So that's coming December 4th. Jungkook's documentary on Disney Plus. It is 1 year. It is officially 1 year since his concert in Times Square.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
1 year
1 year
since we lost our minds.
That's crazy.
Yep. We got a brief return
standing next to us.
Yeah, he was standing next to us, sort of. But we got a brief return to the skinny jeans era. Thank you, Calvin Klein, for that outfit that you put him in for that.
So amazing.
Mm-hmm. That was clutch. And then Golden has broken a nearly 30-year record. It has become the best-selling album of all time by a Korean soloist. 2.9 million copies sold.
Get it, Cookie. Get it.
2.9 million. The best-selling album of all time. All time by a Korean soloist.
Well, I want to know who was a Korean soloist 30 years ago who sold more records.
I'm sure it would be easy to find out.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
with a quick Google.
Yeah.
It's probably like a trot. I mean, we're talking the 90s. We're talking the 90s. So
Trot.
How many people are looking? Leslie's probably already looking it up.
Leslie, tell us.
Yeah. So that is our news. We have caught up. Lots of amazing stuff. We will have some more reminders at the end. We will talk a little bit more about voting and all of that good stuff at the end. So make sure you guys stick around for that. But for now, it is time for our Sunday topic. And this is, Stephanie suggested this.
I did.
Well, Stephanie usually does.
Yes.
Sunday.
Stephanie can come up with the ideas, she just can't talk about them because she doesn't know enough. Okay, so I chose this because number one, it's November, so it just goes perfectly. And also, as I have said on here before, Namjoon is the member that I feel like I know the least. And he intimidates me the most. Not because of him, but because of me. Because of me. I'm not saying anything bad about him. Please, no hate in my comments. Not saying anything negative.
You just wait for it.
Just wait. Just wait. We explain.
we will explain. Okay, so I really wanted to just kind of do a deep, much like we did with Jimin, I wanted to really do a deep dive into who is RM and give some, history and all that. But not me, because I don't know anything. So now, to the others. Here.
Well, we started our discussion of Namjoon in the blog this week. We started November with week 44. It's called A Storm is Coming, which is a direct quote from him, by the way, in one of his early vlogs before they debuted. He was just talking to the camera about how he was feeling, and he was like, I feel like a storm is coming. He wasn't talking about the weather. He literally was not talking about the weather. He was talking about how he felt things were going, and he said, I feel like a storm is coming. And so, it was.
Why the storm?
He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. Well, let's see. So in this week, yeah. His lives are always so good. So in this week we did a bit of an introduction to Namjoon. And it was really cool to go back in time after we'd come all the way up to like almost the present with BTS. It's kind of cool to be going back now with the individual members and like tracing that same timeline, but through their eyes, one person's eyes. I think it really is adding to the experience of doing this chronological thing. And not only is it important, like not only is going in like fan chant order important for us, but I think starting off with Namjoon is really important because he really is the beginning with BTS. And there would not be BTS if it was not for Namjoon. So this is a really good way to start things out. Let's see. This week we talked about pre-debut stuff, and we talked about debut era Namjoon, and we talked about his very first mixtape, which was titled RM. But it's funny because this was even before he was calling himself RM. He was calling himself Rap Monster at the time, but he named his first mixtape RM. And I see Stephanie's little point here. Just love Stephanie. Please quickly explain the difference between a mixtape and an album. And it says in parentheses, for the dummies in the room. Love Stephanie. Listen. That's not a dumb question. That's not a dumb question at all. It can be really confusing when a lot of terms like EP, mixtape, album, singles, all these terms get thrown around, and sometimes you just nod and go, yeah, okay.
Album.
Yeah.
Studio album, blah, 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 repackage. Like there's a lot of things. So it's not a dumb question because a mixtape is an album is something we know what that is. It's like it gets put together in a studio, gets packaged, it gets released to the public for purchase. A mixtape is more informal. A mixtape is something that and it's not necessarily as long as an album either. It usually tends to be a bit shorter, but it's informal. It's not necessarily officially released. Like they might like press it and or record it and release it themselves, but it's not necessarily. It's not released like on a label.
So the label didn't put money necessarily behind it, and they're not going to push it as much.
They did, They still put money behind it, but it was more like he got to make a couple videos and things like that, and like he promoted it like in various places here and there, but it wasn't officially released for money. It was more like the promo that he got for it like kind of went back into BTS.
Okay.
But he put it on SoundCloud. So now, you know, like people make mixtapes and they put them on SoundCloud or do stuff like that. Back in the day, people used to like hand you their cassette in like a subway. You know what I mean? You'd like be walking and be like, hey, here's my mixtape. And you're like, oh,
Or a CD.
oh, okay, fine. I'll listen to it, you know?
Because D-Day 1 was a mixtape too, correct? Right?
August D, yes. August D was
D and D2.
I think it's really common in K-pop for their first solo stuff to be like a mixtape, not an official release for money. Like I know
it seems to be especially for rappers.
yeah, Namjoon just released his first mixtape.
They seem to go
of one song.
Yes. So that's the difference. And then they have like an EP. An EP is an official release, but it's shorter than an album. So
Usually like what, 3 to 5 songs, 3 to 6 songs maybe?
I mean, I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 6, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, because that's like Layover was an EP, Happy's coming out, that's an EP. And then like both of Jimin's albums technically were EPs.
And so when they say mini album, a lot of groups, like especially at first when they debut in K-pop, a lot of times they'll have mini albums for a while. That's what an EP is.
Yes. And yes, they do it. That's a good point. They do it to see if the public will respond to a solo. So they put those like mixtapes out to see what the vibe is and if people are like picking up what they're putting down. So if they know they want to invest actual money into releasing a solo project for that artist.
Can mixtapes and EPs be submitted for awards?
That it would depend on the award qualifications.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it depends on the award qualification. For the ones that we're thinking of, probably no. Like the really like big official ones, no. Because it has to be able to chart. And if it's not if it's not an official release, it's not chartable.
Okay.
So yeah. So that's a little rundown of that right there.
And then
Thank you.
a full album is usually more like 8 to 10 songs, 8 to 11.
Yeah, somewhere in there, maybe even a little bit more depending. Yeah. I think 10 songs is fairly standard for an album these days. I mean, you've got some bands in the past who have had like 16 songs on an album.
It can go.
It can go sometimes, you know, but I think 10 feels fairly standard for an album length these days.
Okay.
No. Yes, a full album is also called an LP.
I'm learning so much here. Thank you.
We are learning all
Which
these.
which is actually the acronym for long play.
Yes, long play.
EP is extended play, which is weird because it sounds just like
Because it's like a short
sense, so ignore
Yeah.
that.
Make it make
Short
sense.
play. Yeah.
Ignore. So yeah, we talked about this week about Namjoon's start in music. And I think we all know by now that he was part of the underground rap scene before he joined Big Hit. I learned some new things about him this week that I did not know. For instance, I knew that he wrote poetry. I knew that he was interested in poetry. It's not a hard thing to think about if you think about his lyricism. That he would write poetry, but I knew he did that, but I didn't know that he had actually like published them online for a while, like on a poetry website. He used to submit his poems and they got published for a while. And so he actually briefly considered a literary career, like pursuing something like that. But then ultimately, I guess he just decided not to. But that's kind of around the time that he discovered hip hop. So maybe there's some correlation there.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some correlation here. And I don't know if who's read the blog or who happens to know this, but does anybody know what the song was? I'm not going to say this is our giveaway song, but maybe this could be it.
Yeah, it could be. Hold on. Okay, reminder, giveaway.
A song.
A beautiful Wait.
This could be our giveaway song. If some our giveaway question. If we get people that answer it enough, like if there's crickets, we'll think of something else. But I think
Has
this is
been worn by me.
Does anybody know what the song is that made Namjoon fall in love with hip hop?
Oh, it's on the tip
I
of my
know.
tongue. It's on the tip of my
Well,
tongue.
we can't answer.
I was gonna say, I have the hat already. I'll just
She's like, give me that hat.
Oh, let me wear the hat. Yeah, for the hat.
Oh, Amanda got it. Amanda got it.
Amanda got it.
All right, Amanda, let me write this down.
Amanda Untold.
Let me write it down in the chat so I don't forget.
Amanda Untold.
Amanda Untold,
Yes.
are you on Discord or should I message you here?
Yeah, or you can slip into Katie's DMs.
I'll be honest, I'm terrible at TikTok DMs, but I will do my best.
Yeah. Yes, it was Fly by Epic High. He heard that and it made him fall in love with hip hop. So the word play, I mean, we know that they're brilliant at their wordplay too. Well, those of us who listen to Epic High. If you don't, you should. Then you should. Yeah. And then he started exploring more and he discovered a teacher actually introduced him to Eminem. And that's how he became obsessed with songwriting, because the lyricism in Eminem songs is what drew him in, because he was fascinated by the way that you could storytell in a song. Essentially, it's just like another form of poetry. And so that's how he ended up getting into songwriting. And it wasn't long after that he was like, well, I guess I might as well. He was writing songs and he was like kind of starting to like record them. He was learning how to do that. And he was like, well, maybe I should perform them. And that's how he got into the underground rap scene.
Very cool.
Yeah. And Steph made a good point in our notes here that much like Yoongi's parents were not with him being in music at first, Namjoon's parents weren't really on board with it either. They did not want him. They wanted him to concentrate on his studies because, let's be honest, we all know that Namjoon is really smart.
Can you imagine? They're like, our child is one of the smartest people in Korea. And then he's like, I'm going to go do music. They're like, no.
And that's just like, I want to be a rapper. And they were like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they'd been like, I want to be
why?
cello or piano, it would have been like, okay, that's like an accept.
Right.
They would have said that, and
Right.
it's like, I want to rap. Have you heard of Eminem, my dude?
yeah. And his parents were like,
I want to be like Eminem.
Yeah, I want to be like Eminem.
he's he's like top 1 point whatever percentile of scores for the national university entrance examination.
Right.
But have you heard of an American named Eminem?
And his parents are like, you can do whatever you want. He's like, I think what I want to do is I want to be an underground rapper.
And they were like, what we meant was you could be any kind of doctor you wanted.
Yes.
I mean,
But they weren't like,
No.
they were still supportive.
Yeah.
Because yes, his mother did buy him a microphone.
Yeah.
I think that they thought it was just going to be like a fun hobby at first, and then they realized he was serious, and it was a little bit more like,
I think several people, or a lot of people here can relate to. Sometimes when you have older children, I think you just have to be like, yeah, okay, that's a phase.
But he said to her,
it's usually not a phase.
he said, do you want a son who is a first place rapper or a 5,000th place student? And I thought that was like balls to the walls, bold, because he was he didn't really have a whole lot of experience under his belt. He knew he was smart and he could do well doing something that way, like figuring something out that way. But to say that he was going to be the first place, like a first place rapper, like the best of the best at that point, he wasn't even signed by a label at that point.
Yeah.
He was still just doing it with his friends, like Saturday night.
Yep.
But like he had the like he knew he just knew he could do it, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my brother, who was a really good artist but couldn't make a living at it, so he became a tattoo artist. It's like divert a little bit. Same path, but
Well, and
Yeah,
he has, I don't know if it ever was different, but I know at least in his later career now, he seems to have a really good relationship with his parents. Like, he's posted pictures of them traveling together. I know he's done lives where he's like, oh yeah, my family and I were on a train in Switzerland or something. And
Yes,
it seems like they are a close family, which is
he's
good.
a wonderful, like they clearly seem to have a very
Didn't he
wonderful
get called by his dad in a live? That his dad called him work. He was in the middle of a live, and he was
Yes,
like,
he did. He answered the phone.
"Dad, I'm in a
Like,
live
I'm live right
now."
now. I can't talk.
and they came to the Tomato Festival to support him.
If I recall correctly, and I could be wrong on this, so don't quote me, but I know he has posted his parents on his social media before, and I don't think the other members have that I can think of. I guess
I don't think so.
yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, even in J-Hope's documentary, it was just his mom's voice. I don't think his.
Not that I can remember. I mean, we've obviously seen pictures of them.
We have seen, but I know he has proudly posted them on his social media before.
He posted a lot of pictures when he went to Spain
Yeah,
with them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's, like we've said before, the varying degrees of people's desire for privacy. So,
absolutely. But yeah, he has.
and yes, Runch Rondo was his underground name, which if you read the blog, you will find out where that name came from, and it's a very amusing story. I never knew. This was something else I learned this past week. I did not know where the name Runch Rondo came from, and it is a lot more innocent and adorable than it sounds. So
They always say he's more innocent than he seems, or more innocent than he thinks.
yeah, and yes, it wasn't a teaser that Leslie made that's floating around TikTok right now. So yeah. I think it's amazing. And so, but then of course, he went from like performing and he's doing so well that like, people started being like, man, you should really audition. You should audition for some companies. And he was like, I mean, okay, I guess. And so he did. He went to a couple of like I think his first really big audition, he bombed completely, which it's fairly well known. He completely forgot all of his lyrics and just right out of his head. And that was a place called Big Deal Records, which I think is funny because it's not too far off from where he ended up, but Big Deal Records, he bombed on. But he made a connection. Another rapper at that audition, he met somebody named Sleepy, rapper producer, and that person
Hang on.
turned around and told P Dog, who was a producer at Big Hit, about Namjoon. Just put him in his like peripheral. Just put him in his peripheral. And I think it was about a year later when something was coming up for Big Hit, and somebody suggested that it might have even been Sleepy, suggested that he audition for Big Hit, and he actually auditioned for Bang PD himself. Like it wasn't like a casting call. It was like he auditioned for Bang PD himself and was offered a contract on the spot.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was 16 and he said yes. He didn't even call his parents and ask.
I'm going to do it regardless of what they say.
Okay, we interrupt this live for brief breaking news about a happy special fan event. They're going to do an event for 50 people at Lotta World. I don't know how you say it.
Lot World.
It's called a Merry Runaround.
Oh my God. Oh my
Did he
God.
get any cuter? I mean, seriously.
Stephanie's gone. Stephanie's done. Yoongi's going to have to do a lot.
He's got
He's got his work cut out for him. Jin is coming for his place.
Yep.
It's not clear if Jin's going to be there. That's what I'm trying to read. Anyway, sorry. If you can get to Seoul 2 weeks from now, you should go check out the Weverse notice. If not, it's not really for you.
Oh,
But
he's doing a high. Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be cool. Was this a Weverse?
okay, back to RM. Sorry, I got the tweet notification. It was like Jin special event. I was like, oh, I've got to go look at it.
Yeah. So he took the offer. He signed the contract, and I guess his parents were like, okay, like after that. So He joined and he became the first member of BTS. And I mean, that's kind of part of why he ended up becoming the leader. This is another one of Stephanie's questions.
Yeah.
This is kind of how he ended up becoming the leader, is like he was the first member. And while he didn't put the group together, he kind of like sort of people like gravitated towards him, like he kind of collected the trainees, and it was like who vibed with who, and like, you know, it was kind of like, are you picking up what I'm putting down kind of a situation. So I think he had some say in who he wanted, and I like Yoongi and Hobi, like they happened pretty naturally. They came in and it was like, oh yeah, them. I mean,
It'd be really funny. He was like, well, actually, we held a vote and 100% of current team members voted me as the leader.
yeah.
Therefore,
I mean, he's the president.
Yeah. And I think that like everything that we've talked about so far, just the way he does things, he has very natural leadership qualities.
Yes,
and so I think that it was kind of a foregone conclusion, him being the first member of the group. And I said in the blog that he was kind of the North Star of the group. Like everything kind of came back to him, and it remains that way throughout their career. So he hasn't wavered from that at all. He's the main, I mean, they all contribute to writing here and there, but he is the main songwriter. The bulk of their discography, his hand is all over it. And he's written for the other members as well. And he writes for other artists as well. Not to say that the rest of them don't. I'm just saying he's the most prolific, and it's I think his first, I don't know if I want to say his first love, but I think that's what he goes back to when nothing else makes sense. Writing makes sense to him. He is always writing. And it's just a constant. It's a constant. Through their once he gets signed, through their pre-debut days, he's writing. He even wrote for other big hit artists. And yeah. I'm trying to see where we are next. Anybody else? Anybody else have anything to add to that? So it's not.
my expertise is more later RM. So.
So it like, okay, this is a good, like, a lot of people have been like, I don't understand what a leader is, especially when now we know. But when let's think about when we first discovered BTS or K-pop in general, and we started learning that they had positions in their group and that there was a leader, probably most of us were like, what? What does that mean? Is that like a figurehead thing? And sometimes sort of, but also no. And they've talked about it. I think, definitely Yoongi has mentioned what RM's role as a leader was. And it's been talked about quite a lot. Like in those early days, he really was a bridge between the group, between the members and the company. Obviously, we know he's always had a way with words, not just on paper, but linguistically as well. He talked good.
Right.
He knows how to express himself. And again, probably another big reason why he became leader, or why they all voted for him to be leader. And so he has historically been a bridge between the company and the members. And I think that was probably especially important early on in their career, because they didn't know how to speak up as much, all of them. In the early days, they probably didn't know.
They're afraid of getting kicked out.
Yeah. They had, they were afraid if they didn't go along with something that the company wanted, that they would get kicked out. Whether that's true or not, we don't know.
No, but that was their fear.
But if that's what they
do, keep people working, not predate you. I mean, that's how it works.
Exactly. And he did. He was asked if he wanted to go solo, and he said, I mean, they did it as a joke one time, but he was also seriously asked at one point, would you rather be a solo artist? And he chose both times, in the serious time and in the time where they were asking him as a joke. He chose BTS immediately. So he never really, he always, I think he always saw the vision for BTS. And he always saw the vision for what it could be.
Can I just say, it is so much more fun to do stuff with other people? Like,
yeah.
Like how fun would this project be if it was just one of us?
I often think about soloists in the K-pop industry, and I think about how mentally taxing it is. I mean, being an entertainer and being famous and having that pressure is taxing no matter what. But we have discussed, I think, ad nauseum, the different ways in which the K-pop system is mentally taxing at a whole other level. And I can't imagine doing it as a soloist. Like, at least when they're in groups, they have each other and they know what it's like and they have somebody to talk to about it. But as a soloist, it's just you. I mean, I'm sure they have friends.
Yeah, they have a team, but it's different.
Yeah,
you have to go up on that stage by
sharing the
yourself.
stage with anyone else. I think about I think about IU. Have you ever seen like videos of her concerts? Huge, ginormous crowds, and just that she's just this one little person on the stage.
This little person,
Any little person on the stage, and she commands that whole room. Now, like I think she's an example of somebody who does it extremely well. And she's been doing it for a long time, and she's very comfortable with herself and her audience, and knowing what and her strengths and capabilities. But like, she started really young, and she was doing it all by herself. And lots of them start really young, and they're doing. I just don't understand. Yeah.
I mean, you're saying that she started really young. Well, the thing that amazes me is that he's the leader, and he's the exact middle age-wise. He's like not the oldest. That's the thing when I was Baby Army that made me admire him even more, because like he's right in the middle. There's 7 of them. He is the fourth, and he's not the oldest, and he was super young. So taking that responsibility on his shoulders when he was so young, and with people that were older than him, considering also that in Korean culture, there's this whole age thing.
That's what I was going to say. I remember learning about the leader position and everything when I was getting into BTS and K-pop. I was like, but wouldn't the oldest person be the leader because they have such an importance on age? And I don't know. I'm not a fan of as many groups as some people are, but like, I can't think of one off the top of my head where the oldest person is the leader. They usually let the group vote, and it's often not the oldest person. It's usually not the youngest person or anything,
The
but
only one that I can think of is Stray Kids.
yeah.
And he actually put that group together. But
Not like being the jury foreman.
yeah,
Like, it's probably pretty cool, and people like, oh,
like
that would
the jury
but
foreman.
it sucks sometimes.
yeah. Oh, we don't want to imagine if Jin was the leader.
He doesn't
I would
either.
not
He's like, I don't want any
imagine
part of
that.
that.
Imagine it either. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think he could do it.
He could do it.
I just don't think he would want to.
Oh, he doesn't want to be the leader, probably.
Yeah.
I think he feels. Well, I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, it would be chaos. It would be a little bit of chaos. Yeah. Because, back in the day, I mean, he still does it, but he was very vocal about it from the start. I don't do what the company wants.
Right.
Can you imagine being the spokesperson?
We know that Tae and Jimin used to fight like wildcats sometimes. I mean, by their own admission, they've said, like, can you imagine having to lead that group where you're like on it in a public interview, you're like, hold hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys are pissing me off so
I
much.
mean,
Just hold hands until you
Jin-
can be friends again.
Yep.
Jin somehow does control the Magnus somehow,
Yeah,
because
he is.
when they get out of hand, he's the one that pushes them in and does things like that.
Yeah.
He's the one that keeps a little bit of like, considering he's chaotic, it's kind of and I admire it's like something that makes me feel like really weird when I see him that when they're in group situations, he's the one that is like kind of like putting them at, like turning around
Well,
and looking at
Jen is more the parental guidance, whereas I think RM is more business guidance. Like Jen,
Yes.
the mom and dad look like I'm watching. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I know they've said Hobi is the mom
Yeah.
of the group,
yeah,
and I think they said Yoongi is the dad more
Yeah.
often. Jin, like,
Yeah, but Jin,
he gets respected as an
He
elder,
is
but it's a little
definitely
different.
the older brother. He is the older
Or
brother.
like a cool uncle.
Yeah, he gives them
Like, he
money.
gets the respect of
He
an
gives them
elder.
money on their birthday.
yeah.
yes,
Remember his little
Takes them
acorn
out
pouch
to
of
eat.
money?
when they were trainees.
Well, I think it's really hard anyway.
Serious?
From what I can tell in the culture, like he's already the oldest, which would amount to he gets leadership somewhat in that, and he has responsibility, right? And I think if he were not only the leader of the actual leader of the group and the oldest, that would be really hard. And I think there could be some animosity there because he'd have to lead. He's leading in so many areas in so many ways. I think that could be a lot more difficult. You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure. But yeah, he has taken his role as leader seriously from the very beginning, and I think we'll touch on that again in a minute. But he, I like this point. In the early days, they faced a lot of criticism for
Everything.
and he did for everything, but he did specifically. Coming from, I mean, Yoongi got a bit of it. Yoongi got some of this too, but Namjoon faced criticism coming from the underground rap scene. He had, like, I mentioned this a little bit the last time we were live, I think, but he had like two voices, like two things sitting on his shoulder, angel, devil, both devils, maybe if you want to be that way, sitting on his shoulders. Like on one side, it was like all of his former peers from like the underground rap scene, and they were telling him that he was losing his edge, he was selling out, he was, he was trying to become an idol so that he could hide like a lack of talent. And then he had and all of like the naysayers that were like, you know, your songs aren't real hip hop, like what you're doing, being an idol isn't real hip hop. And then he had a big hit over here that was telling him to just like forget all of those people that he built those memories with, like, and like become the rapper that he needed to be, become the idol that he needed to be. And outside of that, it was people telling him that he didn't look like an idol should look, and he didn't sound like an idol should sound. And he just wanted to, and through it all, he just wanted to share his talent with the world. That was it. But he had all of that. And so these voices saying, you're selling out, you're not being hip hop enough. And so he was really influenced by American artists. They all were. I mean, like, they're all over their early songs, the Hip Hop File, where they literally like name all these people that influenced them, and J-Hope, J. Cole, like that whole thing. But he was super influenced by American Western rappers, and sometimes that caused like issues. He's also fluent in English. So,
Yeah.
That's an advantage.
He understood Western references and things a lot more than anyone else did. And so when he wrote certain things, it was like, oh, well, he definitely knows what that means. he definitely knows. But it did cause some issues in the early days. They did get in trouble a few times, like with War of Hormone, and he did some covers of some songs that maybe he should have thought twice about before he did them. But, like Expensive Girl comes to mind.
I was like saying that.
Y'all can look that up on your own time.
That's in the Black Legend of
That's in the dark web of that time. The dark web of
That's why he always says, "Don't look at the past. Don't look at the past."
Never bring it up. If you ever meet him, never say expensive girl in front of him.
But y'all can look that up on your own time after live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did get them into trouble a little bit in the early days. But I think that they kind of learned, and eventually, as their sound began to evolve anyway, that they just transitioned kind of out of that. Which is not to say that their influences ever went away, but I think that we know that they moved away from a strictly like hip hop, we've got to be hip hop kind of sound and image into exploring all kinds of music. And finding lots of different artists to collaborate with. But he was pretty keen from the beginning about collaborating. There's a ton of Namjoon collaborations. There's a bunch in the blog this week. There's a bunch coming up next week. They're not stopping anytime soon, guys.
Nope.
So what was your next point? You know what? This brings us right into the next point.
It's like it was planned.
It's like we have an agenda or something.
Land.
Yeah. Stephanie asked, in the blog this week, we talk about how Namjoon is somebody who's always wanted to share himself. I said he wanted to share his talent with the world. I think we can tell.
Read the blog.
Yeah, read the blog. I think you can tell that just by watching him and listening to him. He wants to share what he has to say with everybody. And he's always not just wanted to share himself with BTS and ARMY, he's always wanted to share himself with other artists as well, because he listens to so much music, and he takes it all in. And we know he recommends songs to us all the time. And so he has always been super big on collaborating with other people, and to share his music and to share is sharing himself. And so I think that let's see, what did you say here? Oh, I see, mini money. Yeah. So with that, so like, I think he's had a hard time. I think he's had a hard time doing it outside of songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Songwriting
is kind of the impression that I got from watching Mini Money, that although he's someone that wants to share where he's at and where he's at in his head, that even though he was doing it a little bit throughout, he didn't ever feel like he really had the freedom to do it, or maybe he was afraid to do it. And then with RPWP, I finally got that. He was finally able to really do it. You know what I mean? Like really let it all out, after 10.
I think that it was little bit by little bit. As we're going through his particular discography on the blog, I'm learning a lot more about his process of development and growth. Mm-hmm. Because even though he came out of the gate an amazing songwriter, there was room for growth. Mm-hmm. You can look at it, even if just this week we were talking about RM and his first mixtape, RM. And it's very raw. It's very, it's brash. When I was listening to it, I described it. It feels like an exposed nerve after you get a root canal. Like that's what that mixtape feels like to me. But when you go ahead a few years and you get to Mono, which we're covering this coming week, Mono, on the other hand, feels like that shot that numbs the exposed nerve.
Novocaine?
Yeah. And it feels like the soothing, like what you take after that. And so it's like a growth. And and so I think that by the time he got to RPW, there was it was a journey of what can he reveal when. And so I think by the time he got to RPWP, it was all that stuff that he hadn't been talking about. And it was all of that build up over the years of him being a leader and the pressure that he was under, and all of that he finally had to let it out, and was at a point where I guess he felt like he could.
Yeah.
It took a while. And yeah, I do think that was a heavy weight for him to carry. The burden of leadership, man.
Yeah.
It's not.
Totally.
It's not just the burden of being a leader. It's also the burden of being the leader of basically teens and low 20-year-olds who are also left going, what the hell are we doing? You know what I mean? Like everybody was young and unsure. And so I think the burden was even higher because I would think, I don't know Namjoon obviously, but thinking how I think he would think, the pressure of, oh my God, these guys' lives are sort of in my, you know what I mean? Like that's a lot of responsibility. Like their future, everything is here, you know?
Well, and also K-pop is kind of, and somebody's going to take this the wrong way, but like K-pop there's a formula to some degree and everybody puts their own spin on it and every group has their own theme and stuff like that. But there's kind of a, like, first you do a mini album, then you do this. There's a formula. They were doing something for the first time with a new company and they were intentionally they were K-pop, but they were trying to be something different. And so they were making their own path, and being leader of that must be really difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Big Hit had other groups, but they weren't really doing that well. They were doing they were doing okay. So that's what kind of BTS was, is like, I think it was like their experimental kind of Hail Mary.
Totally. And like in that situation, it's even harder to be a leader because you're like in a company that you're just like, oh, I'm making decisions for this kids that are kids like me.
Yeah.
In a company that is almost bankrupt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're putting here at one point, and who knows if it will work or not. And I think that deep inside he knew that it was going to work.
They're all really smart. They all could have gone on and done other careers very successfully if they wanted to. And so, the pressure of like, oh my God, did they give up prime years of their life for nothing? No, he had to make it work. He would have been under a lot of pressure for that.
For sure. They and like he and then somebody pointed out, and they're writing their own songs. And they're not the only group in K-pop to ever do that, but it wasn't super common then at all. But that was something that Bang PD and Big Hit wanted specifically. They wanted, the original idea was rappers, writers, producers. That's what they wanted for BTS, for that group.
That was something that wasn't being done.
Yeah, they wanted people that wrote and produced their own music. And so that, even though the group got tweaked a bit from being just rappers to also including vocalists, and then they decided to debut it as an idol group as well, they still had that idea of people who write and produce their own music, along with a team, but write and produce their own music. And so it wasn't super heard of for groups at that time to have that much of a hand in their production.
Now it's much more common. Like we mentioned Stray Kids earlier, and they have their own kind of rap line with They Go by 3 Bracha, I think.
Yes.
And they have kind of a similar thing, but they debuted 5 years later.
Exactly. So
it wasn't more common.
BTS started doing
Not the same story.
No, TXT also has a hand in writing a lot of their own music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of them do now, and it's great because once again they got showed the example, and they realized, this is something we can do. This is something we should do, and people tend to enjoy it more. And so, I think that by the time we got to RPWP, he was really ready to just kind of let it all out there. Hey, Doc!
She's here.
I made it.
Doc!
Yes, one down, one back. I'll be right back, guys.
Yes, I'm bringing us swiftly into our next topic. Because
you arrived right on time, Doc.
With the mention of RPWP, we can't help but notice that there was a sad lack, a complete lack of nominations.
Entire lack.
For this album that deserved them at what we so lovingly refer to as the Scammies.
Yep.
And that's our next.
Once again, the Scammies prove themselves to their namesake.
Yep.
That's our next topic of discussion, you guys.
Well, since they couldn't perform because they were all gone, they figured why even bother because we aren't going to get their audience. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but they could go ahead and alienate their audience even further. That's
Yeah,
I was gonna say we're still here. We still have eyeballs to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
we would
And J-Hope and Jin can go pick up awards for other members.
Yep.
right.
No, it is.
And Jin has an album coming.
Awards stuff.
We're not bitter.
It's
No,
not.
Not at all.
I meant to research.
I'm not. I'm actually not bitter. I'm bitter, but I'm also not.
Right.
Yeah.
I meant to research or ask Chelsea, and I didn't have time, to understand. I don't quite understand who the people are who get to decide who gets
Some
sort of academy, but I don't know. I assume it's made up of industry insiders. But we literally had an industry insider on this, and
probably a bunch of old dudes.
and we've had how many industry insiders on YouTube?
Right.
This was a Right Place Wrong Person in particular was an incredible, groundbreaking, different experimental album. What?
Right.
It was on all
they're
the
idiots.
lists. It was on all the lists as the top, a projection to be nominated.
And not
For
to
a
be clear,
film.
not that the other solo albums that have come out so far weren't great. They were great, but they weren't there's great and then there's award-worthy great. They're looking for particular
Artistic
great
yeah.
for critics. Critics have a different opinion of what's great than just, wow, I really enjoy this song. This is fun. You know what I mean? There's different.
It's great versus critically acclaimed.
Yes.
Yes.
That was an album for critics, and these particular critics were like,
Yep.
so.
Yes, and we had other. They submitted other things for nominations that were very worthy as well. Jungkook had some things submitted for nominations. Lots of things, and so
different awards have different.
Jimin,
Some of the other albums would do great at the VMAs, the EMAs, that kind of thing. Right Place Wrong Person was not going to do well there.
No.
There's different types of awards you go for.
It was definitely more tailored to appeal to, let's say, a Grammy audience.
Let's just say Grammy critics.
Right.
If they were legitimate, which at this point,
Everybody knows.
Yeah. The only thing I can think is that they're like, that's music from over there, and this is an American award ceremony. And it's like, okay, but it's here.
yeah. And here's the thing about America is such a melting pot anyway. That should not even be a thing.
Right.
There are people in this country, music gets released all the time in so many languages. We have so much Spanish language music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have,
But Queens, then again,
that
there's
doesn't get-
Latin Grammys.
Right.
And there's Grammys.
Grammy.
oh, I know.
They
I know, it's
already
I know.
segregated the Latin Grammys.
There's already so much segregation anyway, but it shouldn't be that way, is what I'm saying.
Because it's a music award. It's supposed to be a music award. Music isn't supposed to have geographical boundaries to it. There should be no over there, other there, this place, that place,
I
our
could
country,
see-
your country. It's a music award that bills itself as not having geographical boundaries.
I could see them not
Music is
making it a Grammy award-winning album, or a Grammy-nominated album, if it was all Korean, because it wouldn't have resonated with a U.S. audience at all. But this album, actually, pretty much all of their solo albums had a lot of English on them.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like there was no excuse.
Yeah, it's very much about I think it's about who makes the money for certain people.
It's about something, and it's not the quality of the music.
No, it's definitely not the quality of the music.
That's
because if it's
what they finally have proven. I mean, they've been proving it for literal years now, but they've absolutely proven it without a shadow of a doubt in the last multiple years that those awards are no longer about the quality of music. They probably never were. That's what they're billed as. That's what they're
when it first started,
as.
the music industry has changed so much.
They've clearly established in the last, multiple years that it's not about quality anymore. It's
With the Oscars, it used to
I was
be
gonna say,
about people's performance, but
They're the
now
Meryl Streep and the Martin Scorsese of the Grammys.
You know what would be really, really interesting? Have them all collab with a Latin American artist and win all the Latin Grammys.
That would be,
Kind of ironic and fun.
There's rumors. I was just going to say, Katie, that BTS is the Susan Lucci.
Yes. Horrible.
Like, and they're not even like, it's not even like always a bridesmaid, never a bride. They don't like, it's like always the ring bearer. Always the, what is it? The people who do the readings. The thing you give to people who are like, you're not in the wedding party, but you get to read a verse.
You get to be the guest book for Cut the Cake.
You're always the usher.
You're always the usher.
Yeah, you're invited, but
You're never the bridesmaid. Always the
So
usher.
why do we feel like if they know that they're probably not going to get it? Why do they continue to put? I mean, why do they consider it?
why not? It doesn't cost them anything, does it?
I think
Other than pride.
I think they continue to submit their music because one, they know they're worth it.
Right.
And two, it's a fuck you. It's
Well, and also, look, we
It's
put
like, you're not going to nominate me, so
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, also them getting fully ass snubbed this year, like fully snubbed. It is like they can't be blamed for it.
Correct.
We submitted works that won award after award. These things were the fastest to the X number of views or listens on this platform and that platform. They had songs that were number one on the top 100 for ages. They had, critically acclaimed albums that all of the critics were like, this is totally Grammy worthy. And they submitted them all and got snubbed. And so as long as they keep submitting, it proves more and more and more that
What
there's
it's
just
about.
a bunch of scammers.
this is a farce.
what it's not about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it proves what it's not about. So like the more they submit and the more they get snubbed, the more it proves that those awards are not about music.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think they absolutely, they know their worth and they're going to keep submitting because exactly.
They won't win one until the scammings have become such a farce to everybody. They lose all of the people watching. Nobody gives a shit about them anymore. They've become obsolete and in the past. And once that happens, they're going to suddenly award big groups like BTS in an attempt to pull an audience. And at that point in time, I hope they snub them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we're busy on our gigantic 2-year world tour.
So sorry. We're busy. We're so busy. Important business. We're so busy.
yeah, we're very busy.
We can't come to your little Grammy party.
The Tannies, my friends. That's more important.
We gotta go to the Tannies.
We'll have them anytime. We'll have them anytime.
You have to come to our Tannies.
And
You have to come to
It's
our
just so frustrating because like they could say like the views or the plays or whatever, they could say like, oh, that's ARMY. But like so many people who know things about the music industry have listened to these albums and said that they're groundbreaking, incredible. Like, I just don't understand.
We're literally on every critic's hot list for deserving of a Grammy. Like
Yes.
RPW was. RPWP
Yes.
was. Every
It's-
fucking
It's a
critic.
joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
And they have,
deserving, and it just gets snubbed. Like,
and let's be honest, like the Scammies are not the end all be all around the world. Like they have, there are plenty of other award shows where BTS just go in and they clean house.
Yeah.
that are more well recognized around the world. Than,
I wouldn't be surprised if like, you know what? I don't even fucking want it anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if at least some of them feel that way anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely feel that way, but they're still gonna submit because
No, I know. I mean, they should.
I
Like,
mean,
it's
what
the
would be
whole, like,
kind of
I'm gonna
interesting
put myself in your face.
yeah.
I don't care if you don't want me there. I'm here. Hi.
how about
But the only
how
good
about if
news,
they get nominated? If they get nominated when they get back with whatever album that they put out, they
but I
get
hope
it
they
and
say
they
they're too
don't,
busy with their tour. Bye.
and they don't show up to pick it up.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want them to not show up.
Fantastic.
I hope they never perform there again.
Yes, that's what I really hope is
Now
that
we know that they are kind and generous people. We do also know that they know how to be very like subtly snarky as well. But
Well,
we
and I think they also kind of gave other K-pop groups some, some hope that hey, they're moving that direction because others put their names in, their projects in. Nobody got anything.
nobody got
Nobody.
but they're
Money.
starting to submit, and that's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Good, because
The more worldwide groups submit and get snubbed, the more it shows the true colors of the award show.
yeah,
The only good news coming out of this is that we get to have the Tannies again.
Yes.
We do.
Tannies.
how many
those who
people
don't know.
remember the Tannies from last year?
That was one of the first events ever was our
Yes,
Tanny Award.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was our first event. We had, in order to protest the Grammy Scammies last year, we held our own award ceremony that evening called the Tannies. And it was basically just superlatives for BTS.
It was, but it was really fun.
It was so fun.
Look, there they are.
There's our awards,
There are the
our trophy,
fun.
another trophy.
Yeah, the Tannies are an award ceremony that we made up.
Yep.
Somebody said, what awards?
Tannies. Yeah.
Tannies, like Bang
Put them
Tannies.
on solo cups because they had started their solo projects. So they were on solo
We
cups.
did solo cups.
And Stephanie happened to have purple solo cups, which
Yeah,
is totally
Easter.
like on point.
By the way, every time I go to the store, I think to look for those. I don't know how you found those.
Can you
Those
guess
are
who won this one, the Bait and Switch Award? Do you guys remember?
Oh, Jungkook.
Yep.
For 7.
Yes.
One more. And then this one, the Kim
Yeah.
Trok-Young Award.
Guess what? Spoiler, he'll probably win that award again
Yes,
this
he
year.
probably will.
Yes, he probably wanted
Only
to
for the
get this
cover
year.
of White Christmas.
Yeah.
So fun.
You guys have to understand. I think I said this last week. When I first got sent the tweet about White Christmas, the account that tweeted it was cut off in the screenshot that somebody sent to me, and I thought it was a joke. I was like, "What jokester army made this joke of a project?" Somebody's like, "No, Katie, that's real."
I was afraid to put my email in there. 'Cause I thought it was going to be spam.
I think you should hold up a few more and see if some people can guess who they were.
Yeah.
These aren't spoilers. These were last year's awards, guys.
Awesome
thought up.
me down memory lane here.
The Breaking His Own Internet Award.
Who was that? Who could that be?
Who could that be?
Who could it
Who could that be?
Okay. What about this one? Did you guys get that one? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, Kim Namjoon, that's correct.
Namjoon. Could make a paper bag stylish award.
And we've seen recent examples of that style.
Yeah, we have.
And the winner goes, yep. Our Hobi.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hobi.
Let me see. Hold on. Okay, here we go. This is a fun one. The least likely to be a spy award.
Clever back then.
We're so clever.
Not too long, I'll tell you that.
Beauty awards were great.
I don't even remember some of these.
Jimin.
Mark Jimin, because no, Mark
Jimin.
he's a really bad liar.
And a really bad secret keeper.
Yeah, right.
This one is a little bit. Let's just ignore. Well, I'll just. They're turning drinking into a job award.
That didn't age well.
He's well.
This one didn't age well at all.
But shut it down.
Oh, look, we can laugh about
For
it
the
now.
record, this is from last February.
This is from last February.
Before somebody screen records this and sends it to
We'll do an
Twitter.
award.
The Young Will Do It Award. You know who that is? Come on, everybody. You know who that is.
You know this
Young
one.
Will Do It Award. Young will do it. Young will do it.
You got this, chat. There it is.
Come on, chat.
There
Come on.
it
There
is.
we
We're so
go.
on it. We're so on it tonight.
We'll do it.
Lana's
He's
on it
doing
too.
it. He's taking care of Army now.
Lana stretching her little baby army.
Are we ready? The Delulu is the Salulu Award.
Honestly, that award should go to Army, but I know who it went to.
I forgot about that one.
I forgot.
I think they got it. I think they got it.
Yep.
JK. Salulu, my friends.
Salad, though.
Yes, we know they're backwards, but she's reading them out loud, so it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to.
It's the way
She tries to.
Yeah, it's the camera flips when you're on
Yeah.
the phone.
The Playing the Long Game Award.
That could be taken a lot of ways.
It really could.
Yeah.
But it's still the same
I
answer.
mean, technically, we're after dark now. It's fine.
That's Min Yoongi. He said he would see us in 2025, and he meant it.
And then there was a celestial.
All game.
He meant it.
Oh, here's a good one. Oh, this is after the Clock Fest. Okay. That You Were Always on My Mind award, which he is proving time and time again.
Aww. Forgot about that.
Oh, it's so precious.
Sorry, guys. I bait and switched you with that answer, by the way.
He's proved it even more.
He has.
This, yeah, for those who don't recall, it was on Weverse. They posted their clocks of what they did on an average day or a superstar day. And
It's not them.
I forget which one, but Army was on Jin's 4 times. It was like, think about Army.
Yep. Okay, there's one more.
Breakfast
for
with
me.
Dinner.
This one is the Cryptic Clues Award.
Oh,
I don't remember that one.
I do.
who edged us?
Who
Dante.
just a whole lot and gave us a lot of cryptic clues.
Yeah, who?
Army
It could,
and
to be
Namjoon.
fair, it could have been taken
Could have
as
been
well.
Tay, yeah.
No, but who
He was
was
also-
for literal months leading up to
It was
RPW?
the spoiler award. The hidden
Yes,
spoiler award.
This was before RPWP was released, guys, remember? And we were talking about everything that had been on his Instagram, on Namjoon's Instagram. Like, what is this? What is
And he
this?
had-
What are
and
you
he had a
doing?
side- He had a
And the
side
second
piece
account.
Instagram.
The second account that just
He
said
had a little side
RPWP.
piece project account that nobody
We
knew what
didn't
it
know. We didn't know what RPWP was still, and we were just like, "What is this Namjoon?
You
What
were
is
like,
this?"
What is going on?
Our leader also won the Emotional Support Tanny Award.
I mean, because yes,
Aw.
valid.
Yes,
He had
valid.
so much sage advice for us.
He really did. I'm trying to see what some of the other good ones were. The He's Just Kid Award.
Who could that be? I don't know. Park Jimin.
I think the full episode is on our YouTube if you guys ever want to go watch the full Tanny.
Yes. It is, by the way, it is the very first live that we did with Johnny and Dominique. It's the one where
Oh,
we,
yes.
it's the one where we learned.
Dynamite. That's Katie and I.
So
Yeah.
some of us are not on the screen because that was before all of us had video capabilities. So it was
Yeah.
just Stephanie and Katie who had video capabilities at the time. The rest of us were just voice. But we had they taught Dynamite, and then after that we did the Tannies. So if you start watching and you're like, I don't see, you can skip ahead if you want to skip the Dynamite stuff and
No.
go to the
Trust me,
Tannies.
just skip the Dyna part. Just skip it. Just skip the dancing.
But this coming year's Tannies will be even better because you'll be able to see all of us.
Yes.
I mean, if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys turn your screen
Maybe
off.
rather not.
Maybe you guys put your phone upside down. Just listen to us. It's fine. Whatever.
Whatever you want to do. Whatever floats your boat.
It's
You have
true.
to catch
Katie
kids
does
right
kick a
now.
chair
I do.
He does.
in that video. Yeah, she did kick a chair.
Not intentionally. I'm just that bad at spatial awareness.
Yeah,
I do love how the next time we brought Donnie on, he was worried about you and wanted
Yes,
to
he remembered.
he
Here near you.
was like, "We don't want you to kick a chair again." But it was fine. You just ended up kicking. You ended up kicking the shower.
Yes.
It's because he left me in the dance challenge videos. Something's gonna
Hey,
happen.
while I'm thinking about it, we have a big announcement about Wednesday night we need to let people know. Remind people.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think I have Katie for that.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. I'm so close, guys. The holiday shop is up. I'm just put stuff in order.
Release that at the
Okay.
end.
I got ahead of us. Sorry, I just thought
No,
of
it's
it.
okay.
so I said it out loud.
Yes, on Wednesday, as we mentioned last week, and we'll post it on the TikTok, we'll mention it in Discord, blah, blah, blah. This Wednesday, we're going to be going live on YouTube instead of TikTok. Our account name is Army Project 529. We want to see if we can reach some people who don't have TikTok accounts or don't want them for whatever reason. We know some countries can't access it, etc. So follow us over there. I think you can subscribe to live so that you get like an alert on your phone. Yeah, so we're gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. Are we doing an album listening party? D would like to know.
I believe
We generally do for new albums. We generally organize it like 2 days ahead of time.
Yeah, we're real last minute around here.
Listen, you guys have to understand that these albums release at 11 o'clock at midnight for most of us. And so we have to figure out who is most alert and has the time off that can handle that kind of hosting. So that's why we don't get that information till.
But yeah, generally Tuesday, Wednesday of the week that the album releases, we're like, oh shit, we need to have an album release party. And then we put it on the calendar.
Just plan on it, and we'll figure out who's going to be there.
Yeah, we will do one.
We will do one. It's detailed. We'll have more information for you on Wednesday. So come to our YouTube live on Wednesday so that you can get more information about the album listening party. Also, it'll be in the Discord if you're in our Discord.
Yes.
Speaking of our Discord and our watch parties. So I know most of you are probably already in our Discord, but there might be some of you here who are not. And for those of you who are not, please feel free to join us. That is where we hang out the most as a community. It's where you can find us all and talk to us, and you can talk to other people in the community. You can find the local hangout section that we mentioned earlier when we were talking about RPWP. You can find people in your area. You can also so you can find our Discord on our website, ap529.com/links. And there's a link for the Discord to join there. You can also find our map on our website, which also helps locate people in your area that are fellow armies, people to hang out with. And it's also just really cool. We have almost 5,000 people on our map now? Mm-hmm. More than? You're muted, Patricia.
That's because
I turned that off. We're kind of I think around 100 people shy of 5,000 people.
It's amazing on our map. So yes, you can join the map and see other people in your area. And if you come to our Discord, you can find the local hangouts section and find people in your area as well. And find people to go see Namjoon's documentary with if you want. We also have watch parties all the time, literally almost every night. We have something going on in our night for us going on in our Discord. And we also have stuff during the day because our people from the European part of our community run watch parties too. It's at night for them, but it's during the day over here in the States. So you can kind of catch people at all times in our Discord. I host a watch party every Thursday for our blog content. It's our weekly content watch party. We go over that week's blog, we watch content from it, and we talk about it, and we discuss. It's a lot of fun. That's 8:30 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. We have bi-weekly Friday watch parties where we're kind of it's we're watching whatever we want right now.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay, not anymore.
We don't do those anymore because there's no run gen, but we do the random Friday watch party when we can.
Yes.
This past week we actually watched Parasite, and it was fun.
So bi-weekly when we have something that we want to watch. We've been discussing movie nights, and they had a movie night this past Friday, like Patricia just said, or we watched Parasite.
Okay, so there's been a couple of questions in the chat, primarily what is Discord? So Discord is a website that also has an app that hosts private virtual communities that they call servers. So it's a community of people inside of a server. And so you can find the invite to that Discord server for us on our website, ap529.com/links. And so you'll come in there and there will be a welcome page. You have to read to the bottom and hit the green check mark. It's a verification that says you read our rules, and then that will let you see the rest of the server. But it's a place where you can chat. You can send gifts, you can send emojis, you can send video links to each other. It's like a private group chat, but with 2,000 of your
rooms. It's got rooms in it for different subjects.
Yeah.
And it's free, by the way. So yeah, there is a web app, there is a mobile app for Android and iPhone, there is a desktop app for PC and Mac. And yeah, it's totally free to join. It's just a chat server. It's mostly text-based, but you can do voice chat. You can do video chat. So when we do a watch party, somebody is streaming whatever content, and then there's a chat window where you can talk about it while you're watching it.
Yes. Yes. So, and
We're
like,
watching a lot of stuff. today.
Stephanie has often described it as like a house that has like hallways that are full of doors and rooms, and you can just pick which door you want to go into, and it's like a different subject, it's like a different channel. You know, like you go in and you talk to people. You think about chat rooms back in the day.
It's like a bookshelf filled with books that are actively being written. And so you just pull the book that's the topic or the subject you want, you open that up, and then you can read it and you can contribute to that book.
Yes. So come and join us on Discord. If you're interested in our events, on our watch parties, our album listening parties, because we do things for current. So we'll obviously be having something this Friday, like Thursday night going into Friday, because we just said we were going to do a listening party for Jin. It'll pop up in our events tab, and you can click on it, and you can click interested, and it will tell you when it is happening in your time zone, which is the important part. So yeah, we have a lot of fun, and dropping at midnight tonight is our next week's blog, week 45, our second week of November. And it is titled "If Love and Hate Are the Same Word." And we are going to be talking about the next few years of BTS for Namjoon, including the release of his second mixtape, Mono, which is a work of art. So make sure you guys tune in for that. It's dropping at midnight Eastern tonight on the website. The newsletter will be coming out as well. And so check that out. Pretty excited about it. It's been really cool.
Another reminder, the holiday shop is now live. If you go to our website and you click on shop in the navigation, there's a little spot that says holiday shop. It's right there. Yay. Sorry I had to work the whole time, but you know.
Holiday,
So many hours in a day.
celebrate.
No.
Last but not least, Christina usually talks about this. I put you down, Katie, for voting and streaming.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. So there are lots of voting things going on. Again, in our Discord, we have a channel where the subject of the channel is streaming, voting, and streaming, charting, and voting. Streaming is usually the charting. So if you would like to help support some of the voting efforts for various awards, join Discord, follow that channel, and there's usually somebody who comes in every day and posts a reminder if you want, like, hey, don't forget. Because most things now, when you vote, you can vote once per day. So somebody conveniently comes in once per day and is like, hey, don't forget. Because I need that.
Yep.
I live for those reminders.
I would not remember. Yeah.
The minute I see the little red bubble that says that somebody pinged that chat, I go in there and it's like, hey, the voting's open again. I immediately jump to Mnet.
Yeah, so I was going to say, whenever there's a new album, which we'll have this week, or a new single, there's Mnet voting for that award show. But I think there's some other stuff going on right now. There's like it's not a DOSing. What is it?
It is. One of them is. So
it's a DOSing where we're trying to get all the members in the top 10 to go to the next round. And I think two of them right now are not in the top 10.
The Bongsang is what we're trying to get everybody in the top. So if you go to Mnet, there are two different voting things. One is the Fans Choice Award second vote, and then the other is the Visa Fans Choice Award. So in the first category, right now, the goal is to try to get all of the Tannies into the top 10, which means in that category, you should be voting for either J-Hope or RM, because they're in 12 and 13 last time I checked. So we're trying to get them into the top 10 because the top 10 get awards. Now they're fighting against females in that particular award. So you
right now it's still
have to vote for a female in that first section. So you're voting for either RM or J-Hope and then one of the females of your choice. Bearing in mind that the top 10 war with the top 10. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you how to vote on that category. Just that's how the rules work. In the Visa Fan Choice Award, we are trying to get the the Bangtan member most likely to win that into the number one spot. And at this point in time, that's Jimin. And so most of Twitter is voting for Jimin.
The internet is telling you to vote for
Yeah,
Jimin.
most of the internet, Namjoon's internet, is voting for Jimin in that category. Again, vote for who you want, but if you want to vote for what the majority of the internet is aiming for, that would be who you'd want to vote for in that second Visa Fan Choice Award. So we're trying to get,
He seems the most likely to be able to secure it at this point with the way the votes are going.
so the original category is a Bangsan. That one, top 10 get an award. The second category is a day thing. Only one person gets that award. So
You can go back and forth if you want to vote for J-Hope and RM. I have been doing so. But if it comes down to it and you're conflicted, just think that J-Hope, if he gets in there, he could actually go and accept the award. And we could see him accept the award. And that would be amazing. But yes.
So again, we are not telling anybody how to cast your vote. We are telling you how the internet as a whole, the people who read the rules and they run these big giant accounts that run thousands of votes on these things, that's how they're recommending that we vote. So that's the recommendation.
There's different strategies, but
who know, that's just the information we're sharing with you. So vote how you want.
yes. So if you need links, if you need reminders, if you need strategy guidance, because you're like, I don't know, there's a lot of choices, I don't know what to do. That channel in Discord is where we have people who keep up with all that, because it is like every little segment of the fandom, it's like a
Job
to keep up with. So let somebody help you.
Yeah, and we are working, Christina's working on a spot on our website for a streaming charting voting guide for people who aren't on our Discord and don't want to join our Discord, which is totally fine. We will have a place in the near future on our website to have like just a kind of, it's going to be like a running kind of, was it going to be part of the bulletin? Or is it just going to be a regular page, like a fact?
I think it's just a page, but it's going to be updated, especially as new albums come out. I know she's trying to get it up this week for Happy.
Yeah. So it's just going to be when new stuff comes out, there's going to be guides for that. And then general voting when things pop up, like award shows.
I think it's more about streaming. I think it's about how to stream effectively on different platforms. And so it would be if rules change about that, that's when she would update the page. But don't quote me. I had it in the page
streaming
myself.
and voting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ignore me, guys.
If you're inside the
I could be
stream
wrong.
voting channel, we do keep you updated when Mnet will refresh for like the M countdown, which Jamie's been eligible for, and we've been voting for him on those. So
Yeah. Some of the voting stuff changes like that.
yeah, so we have multiple people in the Discord server who are very passionate about the voting and the way the rules work and all of that, and so they keep us updated as to what apps are having current votes, what websites are having current votes, what status the various numbers are at in those different places, and where you can most effectively place your vote. And so, again, not telling you how to vote, we're just
No.
giving you the general guidelines on how the people who know are recommending Army vote to hold the most impact and the most weight.
And last but not least, before we leave you tonight, we just want to remind you about Jin.
Yep.
Not only is his album coming out this Friday, Happy, but we are getting the Running Wild teaser, which is the main track of the album. The Running Wild teaser will be out at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, whatever that equates to in your time zone. So we're going to get the teaser for the main.
Yeah, we are.
And that's exciting. Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. So make sure you guys check that out. I'm sure a lot of us will be screaming about it in Discord.
Yep.
That was the one with the button, right?
It's all a blur.
I think so, but like I wasn't paying attention to the name of the song.
No, I wasn't. I'm trying to remember.
I was just listening. I was just listening.
And
And I was
And
No, that wasn't the one with the button. That wasn't the
Was
one.
that the song after that? Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't the one.
Was that the one with the dog?
that,
Was that the one in the car with the dog?
May have been the one with the
Have a
dog.
dog.
The one with the dog, I think.
Running Man does have the dog on the main poster that they released.
Running Man.
Sorry, there was just there was the button, and I entered a fugue state, and I'm not
The name
sure.
of the
Ribbon.
song with the button, I don't believe I read it.
Ribbon knows. Ribbon's like, I have watched that medley so many times.
Ribbon is still living in that part of the video.
Let's track through.
Let's try. Yeah,
That is not helpful.
that's not helpful, Ribbon. We don't have the track list memorized like you do yet.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments, a lot of our community doesn't have Twitter, but that's why we have people who are on Twitter and our Discord, and they kind of share what's on there to help get people to do the voting.
Oh, another level.
Another level. Oh, that was another level.
Thank you.
No.
All right, I'm glad everybody.
Wrong song.
That was
Wrong song. It's not the dog one.
Anyway, that's happening this week. That's happening tomorrow. Album comes out on Friday. Everybody get excited and make sure and get ready to stream and support Jin. And thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. We love you all.
Yeah, we'll see you Wednesday on YouTube.
YouTube. Don't forget. YouTube. Army Project.
YouTube.
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 Shit show. Who knows? We're gonna find out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
recap.
probably.
MG's leader, Jin has an album coming out. We have a holiday shop. See us Wednesday on YouTube.
Yep. Love you guys.
Oh.
Have a good
Bye,
night.
everybody.
Bye.